Starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, guys. Thank you for joining our webinar today. We are going to be talking about the Qolsys and Alarm.com Builder program, and we are so excited that you're here and we're happy to be here. So if you guys could hop on and make sure that you can hear me, go to your questions tab on your GoToWebinar control panel and just say hello. Let me know where you're from. Okay, awesome. See, we got people from San Jose, we've got Louisiana, Florida. Wow, we've got people from all over. Well, today we've got Jasmine from Qolsys. She's the Director of Builder Sales for us, joining us. And we have Caitlin Keeley from Alarm.com. She's an account executive for the Builder channel. Why don't you guys say hello?
Hey, guys.
Hi, everyone. Jeremy McLaren is here with us. Jeremy, you should be able to talk as well.
Hi, everyone. Good to hear you.
So what we're going to do is we're going to start out with a couple of polls. We want to know if this is your first Qolsys webinar. So let us know. We want to know if this is your first time so we can explain a little bit better for you, or if you come to as many webinars as you can. That'd be great to know. Fantastic. It looks like a little over half are return visitors. And about 30% this is their first webinar, so we are so happy to have you. Okay, we want to know something else too. We want to know, are you currently selling the IQ panel or the DSC Touch? We want to know if you're familiar with our products so we can give you more information if you're not. Perfect. It looks like about 70% are currently selling the IQ panel or DSC Touch. We are happy to hear that.
One additional note, if I can say this to you guys, if you're not familiar with this GoToWebinar tool, for those of you that this is your first webinar, you probably noticed that you're on mute and can't say anything. We just get so many people in these. It's just really challenging to have everyone unmuted and all the background noise. So if you want to interact with us, we'd love to hear your comments, your questions. There should be a section in your little control panel that says like chat or questions or something like that. Use that to type whatever you want into it, and we'll do our best to answer them on the webinar today.
Thank you. Okay, perfect. And we want to know one last thing. We want to know if you're currently working with builders, and that will help us kind of guide our webinar to what we want to talk about and things we want to clarify for you. So let us know.
I mean, as you think about how you're answering this poll, it's, the goal here is to really talk about the Alarm.com and Qolsys Builder programs. But if you're already working with builders, then obviously we're going to be able to use your experiences to help other people on the call today, and hopefully enhance the experiences you're having to improve them. If you're not, then hopefully the goal here is to help you learn how to work with builders and find them and coordinate with them and things like that. So really want to understand the kind of audience we've got here so we can really share best practices and have a great conversation around the subject of builders and the opportunity there.
So we have a question. We have a handout today. If you go to your GoToWebinar control panel and go to the handout tab, second from the bottom, if you push on the little arrow, it should have a drop down and you can select ADC Builder Program. And this is just a flyer that gives a brief overview as for things that we're talking about today and such. So if you guys want to look at that, it's there for you, for your convenience. We had a question about that.
And I'm joining from the mobile app today, which is kind of fun to see the GoToWebinar app on here. And I can actually see the handout. There's a tab over on the bottom section called Handouts, and I can click on it. It'll open that handout right for me right within the app. So for those of you that are on the phone today, maybe you couldn't join because you couldn't be in front of your computer. If you haven't done it already, you might want to download the GoToWebinar app and log in that way. I can see the screen that's being shared. I can see the handouts that are being given, things like that. It gives me a lot of information. And if you're joining with the app or from your computer, we'll be able to see that you're here, and it will count you as present. We've had some people in the past that'll say, hey, I was on the webinar, I was listening in, but it showed that I didn't attend, or I got an email saying, sorry, we missed you, or whatever. Well, that's because it only really logs it if you're in the app or on the computer. So helps us know who's on and be able to act appropriately with that.
Exactly. So it looks like about 50% of our attendees today have worked with builders, and 50% haven't. So we've got a really good mix.
That's
so
great.
Caitlin,
that's really great. Thanks for doing that, guys.
Jasmine and Caitlin, we already have a question. Is the builder program going to be available in Canada?
On the Alarm.com side, that is a yes.
And on the Qolsys side, yes, as well.
Perfect. Okay, so let's get started. We want to talk first about the Builder Channel opportunities. We'll turn it over to Caitlin just a little bit, and she can talk more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So I think the most important thing to do when speaking about the Builder program is actually kind of define what exactly the Builder Channel is and why we as partners and you all as security dealers really care. So for the purposes of the Alarm.com and Qolsys Builder programs, we're identifying builders as developers who construct residential single-family homes, or we might hear them called SFHs in the industry, or multi-family units, like apartments or condo buildings, which we might also hear called MFHs or MDUs. So Whitney, if you could, the next slide, please. Awesome. So we are still waiting on some of the data for 2015 now that the year just wrapped up, but as I mentioned, there's a really big opportunity here for you as security dealers with close to 1 million homes completed last year alone. So you'll see that the way that the market is segmented again is through single family construction and then also multi-family construction. And when we talk about the incentives that are actually tied to the builder program, both of these segments are actually eligible to participate. So whether you're bidding on a project for an apartment building or condo building or a community of single family homes, both of those would kind of qualify for the builder program. So the bottom line here is that we care because builders are high volume sales opportunities because you are consulting with the builder directly for a multi-system, multi-unit, multi-property project. So some really exciting stuff here.
And I just wanted to chime in there. I actually did just get the statistics for 2015, and closing out 2015, we had 1.12 million new home starts. And out of that, there was 501,000 new home sales. So again, a lot of the homes that are being sold are existing homes, but home starts are up. It's projected that next year, or this year rather, we're going to have 1.2, maybe 1.3 million new home starts. So things are on the up and up. Definitely a great opportunity.
So I've got a question, I guess, for the people that are on the call that mentioned that they're working with builders now. I'm wondering how many of them are working with single family versus MDUs. And I guess while they're typing in their responses there, Caitlin, question for you: what is the difference in terms of how a dealer might approach an MDU versus single family? Is there any real difference in what they might offer and what they and how they might present that to that individual?
Yeah, so I guess it would really depend on the market of where that particular MDU or single family home community existed. We're seeing in single family construction that there's a couple of different ways that dealers actually approach the builders and then also complete the sale with the end user or the new homeowner. So with single family homes, we oftentimes see that the dealers will come in, and while those homes are being built, they will kind of do their sale of these are all of the solutions that are available to you in your new home, and what do you want built in so that it's turnkey when you move in. With multifamily, it's a little bit different in that oftentimes, if it's an apartment complex, the builder and the dealer will actually complete the sale between the two of them with a contract, and then the cost of services will actually be built into rent, or if it's a condo complex, it will be built into the HOA fees. So just something to keep in mind when you're approaching the two different segments.
So as a clarifying point, basically it's a matter of how you might price it, but in terms of the actual items, the products and the services you might offer, they would almost be the same, right?
Exactly. Yep.
So that should make things a little easier for people. So you don't really have to change the equipment you're offering and what you're training your technicians to install, or how you're structuring your pricing or things like that. Or I guess it's really just a matter of structuring your pricing differently for a different type of builder.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So it looks like we're getting people responding. A lot of people work with single families, and we actually have quite a bit that work with both.
Wow.
So that's
great.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Caitlin.
So based on that feedback, what is the real opportunity here? We saw how many of those starts are in 2014, and as Jasmine mentioned, in 2016. But why are we convinced that these builders will actually buy and use our services? So the great news is that as smart solutions have become more reliable and more easily accessible to the consumers, basic home automation options are becoming the standard, really, in these residential properties and the expectations of home buyers. So here you see that Tech Home Builder says that the percentage of a home sale price attributable to technology will more than double from 2014 to 2018, and 92% of builders agree that innovative technology options and amenities can provide their new homes a competitive edge versus existing homes. So with that, being dealers of Alarm.com or potential dealers of Alarm.com, Alarm.com is providing that exclusive best-in-class technology and partnering with Qolsys to be a complete Internet of Things platform, which is already integrated. So that's really, for the builders, going to make the difference because it simplifies the logistics of how they're actually going to install smart home technology in their homes. And it's also going to be a quick and easy process because they can work through a single dealer like yourself, rather than having to pick and choose from several different single point solutions and work with several different providers.
So Jasmine, I've got a question for you, and I don't know if you know this or not, but so I think we all know, and I think we shared on webinars before, that millennials are probably more likely to gear towards technology. In fact, some stats I saw at the Z-Wave Alliance said something to the tune of millennials will spend around $4,000 for smart home technology, whereas someone over 40 or whatever would typically only spend a few hundred. Do we know any kind of builder stats in terms of who is more likely to be buying houses? I mean, how many people buying houses are millennials versus the people that are over 40? And do we have any kind of insight into that?
Well, it depends on the type of housing. Now, millennials are, buying first-time starter homes, whereas, people over 40 are buying, their second or their third home and upgrading, and usually new homes. So millennials tend to be buying existing homes, and if we're looking at California and these young millennials that are multimillionaires working for tech companies, they will be buying custom homes. But it depends on the type of home. A lot of millennials are still, they're going for the multi-family play because they like the community. So there's less millennials going into new single-family homes currently, but that is always subject to change.
Perfect. So it looks like we have a few questions here. Paul asks, how do you integrate smoke or fire detection into new home construction with Qolsys when the new construction requires hardwire smoke and carbon detectors? Do we know that?
Yeah, Jasmine, I'll let you take that away.
Could you ask that question again, Whitney? The first
Yeah.
one?
How do you integrate smoke or fire detection into new home construction with Qolsys?
I believe it's included in our kit, in our wireless kit. We've got that included in the kit, which is part of our community program.
Here, let me pull it up so we can see it. Wait for it. Oh, here we go. Okay, yeah, so this is the community program. And it looks like they both come with an IQ smoke detector, so that would be your smoke detection there. And then Paul follows up and says, when new construction requires hardwire smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. So it looks like the kits don't currently include that, but you definitely could integrate that, right, Jasmine?
Yes.
Perfect. Then we have another question. Oh, we have lots of questions. Fantastic. Okay, if homes want multi-partitions, can we use the DSC Neo panels instead? I don't think DSC offers partitions just yet. Jeremy, do you know for sure? Oh, Jeremy, you there? Oh, sounds like he dropped off. Let me take a look. I don't think it offers partitions right now with the Builder program. I can follow up with one of our tech guys and find out for sure, though, so I will keep you posted on that. Okay, let's see. Other questions? Okay, I think we're good.
Great.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
just
go ahead.
Yeah, so just kind of talking about the channel opportunity here. What we've also seen is that the builder demand is increasing. So right now, and Whitney, if you could next slide here, please.
Oh, sorry, I thought I hit it.
That's okay. Yeah, so 27% of builders are including home automation packages as a standard in homes right now because they are getting that competitive edge over existing homes or over new construction homes that aren't necessarily including smart home technology. And 86% of builders actually intend to make them a standard in the next 2 years or so. So that is absolutely wonderful because for us as dealers of smart home technology and smart security, the demand by potential homeowners means that builders are actually demanding your services. So the smart home solutions that you're installing and supporting are going to be a differentiator to potential residents. They're also going to save residents money on energy bills. And they can provide life and property safety and convenience. So of course, after buying that home, they're definitely going to want to protect that property and the people and things inside of it that are important to them. So now that builders are actively coming to you as Alarm.com dealers, we kind of wanted to let you know what we're doing to support you in winning these projects and partnering with Qolsys as well. So with that being said, we can kind of dive into the details of the actual program itself.
Hey, this is Jeremy. Sorry, about a second ago, I don't know why I couldn't speak, but it wouldn't let me unmute. Just real quick to address the question that was posed a minute ago about the DSC Neo. The DSC Neo is actually a different product. I think, Whitney, you were confusing it with the DSC Touch, which is similar to the IQ panel. The DSC Neo does have partitions, but I think if you're looking at partitions, you probably want to be thinking about why you want those partitions. Is it because it's got a detached garage? Is it because you've got, you know, you want to be able to secure a shed or a closet? With both the DSC Touch and the IQ panel, you can do activity sensors or almost like a mini partition, which basically allows you to, you know, put a separate device on a, you know, a detached garage or a safe or, you know, things like that. So there is some great opportunities and some real flexibility. The note for you guys, whether it's, you know, as you're considering what system to go with, is really to consult with both Jasmine and Caitlin on this. They're the experts. They can tell you what it can do, what it can't do. And as you work with the builder, we are certainly happy to meet with them as well to help you sell the system and find the system that best meets the needs of the builder and the customers that they have. So, sorry to interrupt you. Okay.
Thank you.
No, absolutely. Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, and to that point, you know, we do see that every builder is different in what they truly need. So again, Jasmine and I are here kind of as consultants in helping you piece together packages that are actually going to make sense for that specific builder.
Perfect. Okay, so do we want to jump into the Alarm.com portion of the builder program, or do we want to go to Qolsys? Do you guys have a preference?
I'd say let's start with Alarm.com, because really we won't allow people to purchase, we in Qolsys won't allow people to purchase the builder kits that we sell unless they've been approved in the Alarm.com Builder program. So I think it's good to go over the details of that just so we understand it. You know, there's certainly incentives that Alarm.com will offer separate from the ones that we are offering, because it's coming from two different places. But as you're looking at this, really look at it as a whole program. This is, you know, what you're going to be offering to your customer. Don't think of it as what do you get from Alarm.com, what do you get from Qolsys. Think about what am I offering to the builder. And as you think about this too, one other note I want to make is that these programs are designed for you to have an incentive to work with builders. You do not necessarily have to give everything that we're talking about here. You don't have to position everything exactly as we're talking about here. It's designed for you. Maybe it's to give you a little bit of leverage in the building process. Maybe it's to, you know, give you a little bit of space as you're trying to say, hey, I'm going to give some free months of service, or, you know, some costs or things like that. It's really to help give you some wiggle room so that you can structure it the best way possible to entice both builders and end users.
Perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
Caitlin, would you like to talk about it?
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for that, Jeremy. You kind of beat me to the punch there. I was going to start out by saying that there are actually 3 different components to the builder program, and you'll see them here, and we'll go through each of these and how you can participate in them. But as I said before, not every 2 builder is going to be alike. So for one builder, you might use all 3 of these programs. For another, you might use 2, and you really have the flexibility to take advantage of one or all of these as it's appropriate for that particular dealer, or excuse me, builder. So over the past couple of years, we've really gone out in the field and talked to dealers and builders alike to come up with what we really think is the best builder program in the industry, and partnering with Qolsys in that as well. So let's start by just taking a look at the model home program. And I think our slides are a little bit delayed, so we appreciate you guys kind of hanging with us here.
So just to kind of talk about overview from a model home program, so you'll have 2 different types of homes that are potentially being built by a builder, right? So you've got a model home, which is what they're going to use to try and entice people to purchase new homes. And then you've got the actual community items. You know, these are the community homes that they're building within the community that is being built. We've structured 2 different ways of doing things, and Qolsys has kind of patterned the Alarm.com way of doing things. There'll be an incentive for model homes to try and really create a really great model home, and then there'll be some additional discounts for and benefits for the actual community. We're going to cover first all the model homes, so you can see how do I build a great model home and how many model homes can I build, because not every community is the same. One might have 1 model home, one might have, you know, 5 or 10. So based on how many models there are, it's really mirroring off of how many things are in the community, and Caitlin will explain all that when the slides catch up.
Yeah, absolutely. So Whitney, there we go. Awesome. Okay. So for the model home program, you are eligible for 1 model home kit for each 25 homes in the community. So if you had 100 homes in that community, then you'd be eligible for 4 kits. So what is actually included in this kit is the Alarm.com image sensor, the smart thermostat, a Z-Wave lock of your choice, a LiftMaster garage kit, and then also our outdoor camera. So the way that this works is that we would provide you with an application. It's a one-page application, doesn't take more than 10 minutes to fill out, and then you would send that directly to your Alarm.com rep. As long as it was filled out completely and correctly, then we would approve you for the program, and then we would send you the equipment that's specified in that application. So on the application itself, there's also an order form that includes all of these pieces of equipment. And again, you would fill out that order form for what you need for that particular community. We would then send you the equipment directly, and the idea here is that you install this in the model home so that when the builder salespeople are actually going through the model home, they're just showing off the system as another amenity that comes standard in the new homeowner or potential homeowner's home. So imagine the salesperson taking out their cell phone, pulling up the Alarm.com app, unlocking the door from the app as they're letting the potential homeowner in, turning on and off lights as they're walking in and out of rooms, adjusting the thermostat. So we really want to kind of put our dealers in the position where that builder can actually standardize on these smart home systems. So in addition to that, we will also provide complimentary sales training for builders directly or in partnership with you as the dealer so that those salespeople can really do a stellar job when it comes to showing off the system and what you as dealers can provide as that service provider. So are there any questions on the...
We've got a slight echo. So Jasmine, can you maybe try to mute your phone? Or in Jeremy?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yep.
Thanks, guys. Okay, so Caitlin, question. Is there any security equipment included in the program?
So that is a great question, and I'm not going to steal too much of Jasmine's thunder, but as a part of the Qolsys Builder program, they are including security components in their model home and community home programs.
Yeah, so again,
You know, Caitlin,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Whitney.
That's all included on the handout that's on our GoToWebinar control panel. So you can see everything that's included with Alarm.com and Qolsys, so you can really see a good breakdown. We'll talk about that just a little bit later too. And Antonio, that answers your question as well. There is an IT.
You know, Caitlin, you mentioned something specifically as you were doing it in terms of how you present a model home, and I can't think of a better way to present a model home system than by pulling out the app and showing someone what you can do. I mean, just think about the power of that in the home. You're like, hey, you know, welcome to the home. This is a smart home, by the way. Look what I can do. You could even have an iPod Touch or something in the home and say, here, why don't you do it yourself? And hand it to them and say, go ahead, turn the lights on, lock the door, you know, close the garage door, look at the camera. You can see yourself standing right here in our model home. Can't you picture yourself doing this about your own home? Wouldn't you love to see this information about your own home? It's very powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's really why we're seeing that the model home program is so effective in really winning these builder projects, simply because the new homeowner or potential homeowner can actually touch and feel the system. It's not just something that they're thinking about conceptually anymore.
Fantastic.
So
we have a follow-up question. He wants to know if it's really free.
Absolutely. So the way that this actually works, that's actually a great question, is the model home program is a 100% rebate program. So the way that this works is that you would be charged up front for the equipment, but the moment that you actually activate the equipment online, then we provide you with a 100% rebate. And the reason for that is just we want to keep everybody accountable in terms of actually installing the equipment that they've ordered. And of course, when you go to submit that application, the idea is that you're absolutely going to be installing this equipment and activating it. So we really haven't had any, we haven't run into any speed bumps with this, but for the model home program, you are charged up front for the equipment, but the moment you activate the equipment, then we provide 100% rebate.
That's fantastic.
So I got a question about that rebate for dealers, and I don't know if people are asking the same thing, but so how long would I have to wait to get that? Is that a credit to my account? Is that cash back, or how does that work?
Yep, so that's credited immediately to your account. So oftentimes we're seeing that the balance from the upfront charge is never actually due because it's credited to the account before the bill is due, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's perfect. So if I were to install it in a home and act right away, then that credit then becomes due immediately, and the charge basically offsets itself.
Yep, you got it.
So we're getting tons of questions already about how to sign up for the Builder program.
Yeah, so if you go to alarm.com/builder, then there is a quick follow up with me form right on the homepage there. And as soon as that's submitted, your dedicated alarm.com rep will reach out to provide you with the applications and all the materials that you need in order to actually participate in the program.
So Caitlin, what kind of people require, what would make someone not be able to join, and are there any requirements to join in terms of dealers themselves being able to participate in the program?
Yeah, so there's nothing that would exclude a dealer from being able to participate. It's open to our entire dealer base. For the model home program, we just ask that it's an opportunity of 25 homes or more. The way that we ask you to provide information on that is that in the application, it will actually ask for a list of lot numbers or addresses for the homes in the community.
So really the only requirement is making sure you're actually doing a real community and not just some homes in your neighborhood. It's got to be an actual building community. And then someone at alarm.com would verify that, is that right?
Exactly. So when the equipment's activated on one of those addresses, then you receive that rebate.
That's perfect. Sounds very easy.
Jasmine,
Yeah.
how do dealers go about signing up for the Qolsys side of the Builder program?
So as long as they've been approved by Alarm.com, we're working closely with Alarm.com, and if they've chosen to do the Builder program, we're currently the only manufacturer working with Alarm.com that has a Builder program in place. So we would work with Caitlin, and our program, as you can see on the handout, as long as you buy one of the kits, we're giving out other sensors for free. So we have unique SKU numbers that you would order through distribution, and then we would send that to you directly.
Perfect.
So explain that a little bit better, Jasmine. So if someone gets approved in the Alarm.com Builder program and then wants to use the Qolsys IQ panel and wants to either do the Hardwire kit or the wireless kit like you're talking about, they would contact their distribution to make the purchase, and then the distribution would give it to them, or they would receive it in the mail. How does that work?
Yeah, the distribution would send it to them, and then they would go and install it in the model home.
Perfect. Pretty easy. So let's talk about the details. So let's finish out the model home side of things. There's all the free equipment we're talking about on the Alarm.com side. What's the equipment you would include in a model home kit for Qolsys?
All right, so when you buy the IQ panel, which is the brain of the system, you get 8 connected devices that go along with that. Those include 4 door window mini sensors, our IQ motion detector, the IQ flood sensor, and then the IQ doorbell, and 1 IQ light bulb.
So you guys can see on the screen right now that model home program kit with the Alarm.com program and the Qolsys program together. That is a really nice looking system. They'll be able to go to their app, they'll be able to arm and disarm security, they can turn on and off lights, adjust thermostat, open and close the garage, open and close the door locks, be able to peek in with the image sensor camera, be able to ring the doorbell and have a video taken and text that to their phone. I mean, there's a lot of real cool, powerful stuff in there that'll really entice a potential home buyer to have this smart home system put in their own home.
Yeah.
Now, I'm assuming that not everyone here is an expert on how they position it to people. I'm curious to know, what is the best way to position a sale to a builder? You know, how do you structure the pricing? How do you put things together? I mean, some builders are going to want, you know, just to buy the equipment from you and install it and have every home installed, right? Others are going to say, well, I don't want to have anything to do with it. I'm just going to let you do the whole thing, and I'll just put you in contact with people. What are some of the best practices that you guys have seen, those of you that are working with builders now? And is there anything, Caitlin or Jasmine, that you guys have seen from the builders you've been working with or the dealers you've been working with that seems to be working as well?
Particular builder. So again, and also have some sensitivity as to how they want to implement smart home systems in their community. So I guess I would say the starting point is really to make sure that builder kind of sees it as a necessity, because it is going to become that standard, and new homeowners are looking for this technology when they move into the home at this point. So they want their homes to be turnkey, especially when it's a new construction home. So I see dealers who are actually collecting some of the cost on the hardware from the builder to cover a couple months of service for the homeowner, almost like a trial period. So the idea is that the homeowner uses the services for a couple of months, and that really gets them engaged with the equipment. And at the end of that kind of trial period, they can't really imagine living without it anymore. So we really see that that helps drive activation and long-term customers, long-term contracts. At other times, we see that builders are actually just building in a couple years of service directly into the mortgage, which isn't placing that home out of the market that they're targeting. So that's also an option. Or we just see that dealers are kind of doing a combination of both. So they're offering the equipment at a discounted price and then just building in a few less months of trial period for the new homeowner.
So it probably starts with getting a kind of a pulse for what the builder's expecting, right? You know, what are they expecting the smart home to do and to be? You know, how much are they expecting, any costs associated with it? They probably have some preconceived notions that you'll either be able to align yourself with, or that you'll have to kind of make some clarifications and set some expectations with the builder.
Exactly. Yep.
So let's cover, I think let's quickly cover Community Kit, then we can maybe go over some possible pricing structures and things to consider.
We have lots of questions about pricing, so we definitely want to breeze through this real fast.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like we talked about most of the things on this slide already, so let's just hop into the Community Home Program. So for the Community Home Program, we are waiving any activation fees that you might have on your account for any new home that's submitted under a Community Home Program. And then we're also providing a free smart thermostat for every home in the community. So as everyone on the line probably knows, the smart thermostats are really hot right now in the new construction market. And so we're really using this as a tool to assist you in kind of getting in the door with these builders. The idea here is that every builder is going to have to install a thermostat anyhow, so why not make it a smart thermostat and turn that home into a smart home for that new homeowner? So the process for taking part in the Community Home Program is almost exactly the same as the Model Home Program, where you will submit an application, it will be approved, and then we will send you the equipment. Now, the only difference with the Community Home Program is that you won't actually be charged up front for the thermostat, but we do just ask for a 90-day window of activation. So when you think the new homeowner will actually move in, and we just keep everybody accountable for that. So if the equipment is not activated, then we will charge the account at that point, but up front you're receiving the equipment complimentary, simply because if you're working in a community of 1,000 homes or with a builder who has thousands of homes across the country, the upfront cost for that could get pretty pricey. And so again, we want to help unburden you from some of the upfront financial costs that are associated with working with builders. So again, for every home in the community, you'll get an Alarm.com smart thermostat, which you can either offer to builders at cost and then use that money to build in a trial period. You can discount it, again, really however you see fit for that particular opportunity. So as I mentioned, there's going to be that 90-day window of expected move-in date. We know that construction schedules can get messy, so if at any point you see that the project is being delayed or they might be activated a little bit later than you had originally specified, that's okay. You'll just contact your Alarm.com rep and they will push out that date for you so that you're not charged for the equipment. Because the goal here for us is really not to charge you guys as dealers for the equipment. We really want to help you win those opportunities because they are large opportunities, and good business for you is good business for us. So we really want to work with you here to do everything in our power to put you in a position where you can win those projects.
And by the same token, the Qolsys Builder program for the community side of things, we've really tried to make sure that it's, you know, a fairly robust system without being too big. And I don't know, Whitney, if you pull that up for people so they can see what they get in that community program. So get the panel, and then when they get the panel, and you can choose between either the hardwire system or the wired system, because as you know, some builders will want to hardwire some sensors in just from a cost perspective, or maybe it's already part of their process, they're used to doing it. We'll include the Hardwire 16 and a couple wireless devices like a smoke and you know, a couple floods, things like that, in addition to the panel and things like that. And then, or you could do the wireless kit, which is all the wireless door sensors you would need, and then, you know, a light bulb and thermostat. And I think that's the thermostats from Alarmcom, but you can kind of see the comparison there. You would choose which kit you'd want to go with based on the type of job that's being done there, and you get a special price on that kit that you're not going to get through a regular program. So.
Yeah, and then lastly, we have our Concierge Proposal. So because a lot of our dealers are coming to us and asking, hey, how can we actually structure a proposal that will entice the builder and differentiate us from other service providers who may be courting them? We've put together a proposal which you can tailor to your needs and to that builder's needs, but basically it's plug and play. So we've used all of the research that we've done over the past couple of years to really put together a nice proposal which covers not only the services that you're offering powered by Alarm.com and Qolsys, but also the different pricing models that you might want to approach with that builder. So Jeremy, I know that you were going to hop into, I think, some of those different pricing models. So
yeah, I definitely want to cover those, but I think this speaks to the whole concept again of don't do it without us, guys. We want to be a partner. We're not just a regular hardware manufacturer. We're not just a regular interactive service provider. We actually want to help you close these deals. And when you go and find a builder who potentially is interested, get Caitlin and get Chasmin, get them involved, help them with, you know, help them understand what the situation is, and let them go and help you close those sales. We're not looking to try and steal the business away from you. It's in everyone's best interest. It's a win-win-win if we help you close them. And I know I've heard personally from some dealers in the past who have said something like, well, I don't want to introduce you to my customers because what if you decide to steal them? That's not the market we're in. We are here to help you. I want to make sure that's super clear. If you guys have a great opportunity, let's make an introduction. You know, let us walk through some of those resources. Let us reveal some of the things that perhaps you aren't even aware of yourself, that we can help share with your builders, with your potential customers, and really help make it a great and easy experience. And that's part of what she's talking about here with this whole proposal situation. So let's go through some of the pricing scenarios. Whitney, can you pull up those slides that I sent you earlier today? So first off, I want to consider how they're going to pay, right? You know, some builders are going to cover the cost because they just want to have a smart home in every single home, and they'll pay for it. Some would say we want the customer to pay it, or, you know, using a separate transaction. yeah, it's almost lead generation. We'll put, stuff in the model home and things like that, but then when the customer decides to buy it, it'll be a contract through you. It'll have nothing to do with us, kind of thing. Some will say we can build the cost into the mortgage. Those are really great because now you can get a very robust system for a customer, and it doesn't cost a lot out of the customer's pocket. It's very appealing to them. Or you could do some kind of hybrid within that. Think, of course, and consider what they're going to pay. There's those upfront costs like equipment, installation, and activation. There's the ongoing costs of the interactive service and the monitoring. And then there might be some ad hoc costs like upgrades or service charges or things like that. So you want to have a mode to be able to cover all of those. Perhaps you want to cover the upfront costs, build into the mortgage, and then the ongoing cost is, through a credit card or an automatic debit every month. And then ad hoc costs are, added to their bill or something like that. And then also consider who's getting paid. Obviously, you, the majority of the time as the dealer, are going to get the upfront, the ongoing, and the ad hoc costs. However, to entice a builder, especially a good one in your area, a big one is going to bring a lot of business, you might even want to give some kind of finder's fee for your builder, or maybe even a percentage of RMR. And we've seen some best practices with some dealers doing something like that in their community, where they'll say, hey, 10% of every deal we get, you're going to get it on an ongoing basis. And for a builder who is used to building a house and then walking away from it and never seeing a dime after that, that's a potentially enticing deal where they can suddenly say, hey, now I've got a little bit of a nest egg growing here because as I invest in this dealer and the dealer's investing in me, we're getting a little bit of money back from it. So depending on the builder and depending on your own personal structure of how you price things, it may be a good idea to try something like that as well. Go to the next slide there for me, Winnie. So the other thing is upgrades. If you consider upgrades, so after you've installed the home and gotten the system put inside the house, think about how you want to offer those upgrades. You've got to be able to have a way to contact that customer. Maybe you want to mail stuff to them. You'll obviously have the address because you helped install it. But you'll also want to get an email address. You can send an email out to them saying, hey, there's an upgrade available, or hey, we're having a special on light bulbs or whatever it is. Also think about the outbound phone calls you make. Maybe you're already making outbound phone calls for one reason or another, and you could offer upgrades during that situation. Chances are, if you're not present during that sale process, they're only going to get the base package of whatever it is, and there's other opportunities or other interests the person might have that would, that would be appealing. For example, you just put in the model home kit, you put in a garage door opener, you put in that front door camera, things like that. Did they see some of those in the model home and they want to buy those now? You've got to have a way and be thinking about how you're going to implement those after the sale potentially. And if you've got an outbound phone call, maybe to set up something like to configure a system or whatever it is, that you might use that opportunity to talk about upgrades and talk about the things you can do extra. Same thing for inbound phone calls. If they call in for tech support or a billing question or whatever it is, use that opportunity to talk about what can we do to help get your house up to the cool standard you saw in the model home. And then also think about the DIY option too. The IQ panels is unique in that you can actually enable self-upgrades. You could allow a customer to pair their own Z-Wave devices. They could go down to Lowe's and buy Z-Wave light bulbs or a Z-Wave lock, Z-Wave thermostats, and they could install those themselves, and you as the dealer could allow them. And you could even do something where if you go into AirFX, and for those of you that are technical and understand AirFX, you could actually go in and allow one thermostat with the system, and if they wanted to install a second Z-Wave thermostat, for example, then you could go into AirFX and allow it that way, but you wouldn't allow it until the customer called you up, which enables you to maybe say, okay, yeah, you can add a second thermostat, but it's $1 per month more, or something like that. So you don't have to do it that way, but it's another opportunity for some recurring revenue as you add features to the system. They can install it themselves, which takes all the burden off of you, but then you can add in some extra costs saying, well, the monthly service we've got to charge you for. The other thing, too, to consider as you're doing these upgrades is, are you going to professionally install them? Are you going to do DIY installation? Or are you going to do what I call hybrid DIY, which is where you have the goal of a DIY, but if they get stuck, if they've got a question, then you've got a phone call or, in worst case, a technician that could come over to their house and help them finish it out. Hopefully that makes sense. The other thing I want to encourage you guys to do is a wish list. Chances are, when you're sitting down in that model home talking about the system that they want and looking at all the cool stuff the model home does, they're going to be making a decision on what they're going to buy and what they're going to install in their home, not only based on what they want, but also based on how much they're willing to spend. And as we all know, most people aren't going to go for the whole shebang right up front. And as they are figuring out what they want and what they don't want, what they can afford and what they can't afford, make sure you keep a wish list for them. You know, write down those things or record somewhere the things that they wanted but couldn't buy, and you can maintain that and then use those for those regular offers for upgrades. You could also use that as maybe like an incentive for a referral. Refer a friend and you'll get that free light bulb you wanted. You know, refer a friend and we'll give you that door lock, or, you know, whatever. Refer 2 friends and you get that door lock. Whatever it is. So you can figure out how much a referral is maybe worth to you. I promise you that offering an item off of their wish list will be 10 times more powerful than just simply offering a free month of service. And for those of you that are doing a free month of service today, you might want to consider this even for your regular customers, not just for the builder channel. Whitney, any questions in regard to this? Yeah, go ahead.
We've had a couple questions about can the packages be modified to include wired contacts?
Well, we don't sell wired contacts, so the answer would be no there. If we made wired contacts, absolutely, but we don't make any wired contacts. So that would be something they would have to work with their distributor on to purchase those separately.
Perfect. That's all the questions we have so far.
Okay, great. Go to the next slide then for me. So I want to give you 2 kind of hypothetical situations. Imagine, you know, ABC Security is working with a custom builder, and he's actually going to meet with the clients to actually customize the system. So every time there's a customer coming into the home to view the model and things like that, they set up a time so they can customize their carpet, they're going to pick out their flooring, they're going to pick out their appliances. At the same time, there's also an opportunity for you to customize that security system. Okay? All the upfront costs are then built into the homeowner's mortgage, and the installer for the dealer would then go and custom configure every system. That includes the rules, the notifications. They would sit down with the customer. A very, very hands-on, very custom experience through the whole thing. You know, so at the end, when the customer has the system, they have the system they want, configured the way they want, and they know that they can trust the dealer to support them going forward. It also are reaching the scenario I'm showing is the customer would also be emailed on a regular basis every 3 months or so with a special offer on a new device, perhaps from the wish list that they were compiling, and that they would be given the option to DIY install that to save the money. Okay, you want that new sensor for the medicine cabinet? We can do that. We'll mail it to you, and then you can install it yourself, knowing that if they did get in a pinch, that ABC Security was right there, ready to, you know, answer their questions over the phone, or worst case scenario, send out a technician for a nominal fee. The other scenario might be XYZ Security, and they're working with a mass builder who's basically building all the same type of homes. They want all the same type of stuff. They basically want to say every home we build has this and this and this, and that includes a security system and, you know, this, you know, lighting system or what have you. All the upfront costs might be paid for by the builder. So all, you know, that initial cost for the equipment is all covered by the builder, but the customer doesn't have to activate the system. They basically get a system that's local only, and if they want to activate it, that XYZ Security would have to try and reach out to those customers after the fact and encourage them to activate. Okay, maybe they waive the first, you know, the first 6 months of monthly activation fees, monthly service fees. And provide a, you know, phone line for customer support, but the customer would have to pay for any service calls they did, and the goal there would be that they could activate that system and have it up and working and things like that. So two very different scenarios, and of course there's a whole range in between them as well. And how you could structure your pricing really depends on how much it's going to cost you up front, how much of that is going to be built into the loan versus the customer's loan, versus paid for by the builder, versus having to be covered by the monthly service fee that you're going to charge. So pricing is one of those things I can't really tell you this is how you should do your pricing. Really, pricing is going to come down to having that conversation with your builder. What do you want your customers to get? What kind of experience do they want to have? We could do a variety of things. And you should, as the dealer, come to the table with a couple scenarios. We could do it this way, or we could do it that way. What would you prefer, Mr. Builder? And Caitlin and Jasmine will help you work through the details on those with your builder to find the one that works best for them, that's most appealing to them, and makes them want to push the program the most, but then also is still profitable and easy for you to install and things like that. Questions on that?
Doesn't look like it. Looks like you're pretty clear.
Okay, well, we're almost out. Was there another slide, Whitney? I think that was most of what we wanted to cover.
Yeah, we have, let me see. Installation type, which we kind of already covered between the wireless and hardwire. But do you want to go
There's certainly some advantages. You know, if you think about wireless is easy installation. This is another thing to consider too, is that if you are doing a wireless, you don't have to wait. You don't have to try and be part of the construction process. You could do that installation after the home is complete. And it also potentially allows a DIY type model. If you wanted to, you could build a system and custom configure it even, and then hand it to the customer on day one. So when they move into their house, there's this nice attractive box sitting on the counter that they would then open up and install themselves. So again, that's a little rare. I don't see a lot of people doing that, but it is a possibility that could save you some time in terms of your technician and scheduling and things. The other scenario is the hardwire installation, and that of course is lower cost, like we mentioned, because those hardwire contacts would be able to, you could do a whole house with hardwire contacts for much less expensive than wireless ones. But it's typically done during construction, and you're generally only going to have professional installation on that. And because of that, it creates a little bit of a challenge sometimes. You have to coordinate with building schedules. If things end up getting pushed or pulled, you have to be flexible on that. So it makes it a little bit more challenging to try and accommodate, but there is some cost savings there if you can make it work. So just be aware that there's some different scenarios there. And again, work with the builder to find out the type that works best for them and for you.
Couple questions. Adam asks, how do I approach the builder to sell this service? How do I make that first contact? And they may be using an alarm company already.
Absolutely. Jasmine, I think you had some really great ideas on this, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to working that, the purchasing managers who are generally making the decisions on this technology are being approached by, 36 different categories of products to go into the home, and within each of those categories there's 10 to 20 different manufacturers coming after them trying to say that their system is superior. So when it comes to things like door locks or countertops and cupboards and things like that, it's easier for them to understand. But when it comes to technology, they don't really understand it, and they don't really want to invest the time to understand it. So it's important to dumb it down and to really focus your conversations around the lifestyle benefits that this product will give their buyers, and really focus on the way that the market is going. We're in the digital age. This is what home buyers want. We're addicted to our cell phones. We want that comfort and the convenience. The home is where you spend the majority of your time. So really focusing just on the opportunity to differentiate themselves as a innovative, technologically savvy builder that can, help protect their homes and help them save energy. Now, as far as how to get the conversation started and how to find the builder in the first place, cold calling and sending emails rarely works with this crowd. So I have done things such as joining building industry associations, BIA. There's about 6,000 different BIA divisions across the country. So you'll find a local BIA in your area. It's about $675 to join for the year. And with that membership, you become a member of the National Association of Home Builders, your local BIA, and then also, for example, I just joined the BIA Bay Area as I live in San Francisco. So I also became a member of the California Building Industry Association. So you get all three of those memberships wrapped into one. And it's an organization that has 220,000 businesses in the home building industry as members, and they work year-round. They have networking events. They make available lists for you to purchase, contact information of different builders. But most importantly, they have networking events. So I just joined Home Aid, which is, can be compared to Habitat for Humanity. It's comprised of some of the largest home builders in the country that get together, and they'll do these fundraising events. There's one in June that I'm going to that's a trap shooting event. So they have all of these builders join, and they have these trap shoot teams, and it's a day-long time to get together. They have to pay to be a part of the team, and with the money that they raise for that event, they then go and they build homes for the homeless. So by volunteering to help them plan an event like that, you really get to rub elbows with some important people, and when they see that you're helping out with this cause, they're much more likely then to take your phone call and listen to what you have to say. So, you know, get creative. Just try and socialize with them as much as possible. Getting FaceTime is very important because, again, they have a lot of people coming after them trying to pitch their products, and they don't quite get the technology. So it's important to build a relationship with them. So I highly encourage people to join their local building industry associations. And then another subcommittee within the Building Industry Association is called PASS, which stands for Purchasing Agents, Subcontractors, and Suppliers. And they get together, it's all purchasing agents, and they get together twice a year, and they say, you know, I don't really like my framer. Who do you guys use for framers? Or I'm looking for a smart alarm system. Who do you guys use? And you know, while you would think they're competitors, they're not really competitors against each other so much, and this is where they share information about the products that they're using. So if you can get in with them, they do lunch and learns twice a year, and that's a great opportunity to present your products to them. So
Really helpful, Jasmine. Thank you for that, and I hope some of you guys got some ideas there. If those of you that are on the line today have some other ideas that you could share, we'd love to hear it. Type that into there so Whitney can read those responses out. One other note I want to make too is as we're wrapping up here is, you know, the opportunity changes all the time. You got to be really, really cognizant of what's happening in your community, what's going on. You know, it doesn't hurt to go drive around town and you know, tell your technicians as you're driving, if you see a new community, let me know. You know, worst case scenario, you go drive, you know, over to that model home and walk inside and say, hey, this is cool. Let me show you something I can do. And you pull out your Alarm.com app and show them this and say, you know, who's your purchasing person? And let me have a conversation with them real quick. You know, you definitely need to be able to be aware of what projects are going on in your community and in your area so that you can take full advantage of those. Whitney, I wouldn't mind also if we did that poll real quick. I'm curious to know if anybody on the call today is planning on going to our the ISC West show in Las Vegas.
So
you know, if you are. Yeah, we are really getting excited for this. There's a lot of fun things going on with it. We're going to be sponsoring the kickoff party on Tuesday night. We'll have several other events going on throughout the week, including the Security 5K. And we've got a pretty special incentive for dealers. The first 25 dealers that join our security team, our Security 5K race team, will actually get one of our free security kits, or one of our security kits for free. In addition to being part of the new products beta that's coming out for 2016, and one of our exclusive race t-shirts. So we really hope that you guys are coming. Would love to know if you're coming, and if you are coming, you know, we'll reach out to you and let you know how you can be part of the different things we're doing there. Caitlin and Jasmine, before we wrap up, is there anything you want to add?
I don't think so. Just, you know, keep in mind we're here to be a resource to you guys. We're here to help you out. If you have questions, do not hesitate to reach out. Again, it's a win-win situation for everyone. So
Whitney, pull their contact information up on the screen for us. So guys, as you're reaching out to Jasmine and Caitlin, make sure that you use the emails that you see on the screen here. If you don't have their emails or don't have a way to write those down, just simply type in a message into your chat thing right now saying, please call me, I've got an opportunity. Again, we are looking to help you guys close these and help make some really, really great smart homes throughout the nation here. So, Caitlin, anything to add from you?
Caitlin had to drop off. She had a...
Oh, that's right. She had a hard stop at noon. Not a problem.
Prizes to give away.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Lots of prizes.
Oh, yeah, lots of prizes. Oh, I'm glad you reminded me of that. I get so excited about the content, we forgot about the prizes. Okay, so pull that up real quick. We're doing... In fact, Whitney, I'm going to let you and Jasmine do the drawings. I have to actually drop off too. My battery's about to die.
Okay. Thank you.
But we're going to do a drawing for 10 ADC prize packs, right?
Yeah. So we have Alarm.com gift packs. We've got a smart thermostat, an Alarm.com camera, and an image sensor there, which is fantastic. The other part, so we'll do the drawing for that here in just a minute. But everyone who's attended the webinar today is going to get a IQ light bulb. And the distribution branch that you put in upon registering for this webinar will be where you pick it up. So if you have any questions about where you registered, shoot me an email and I can clarify it for you and verify it. My email is whitney.white@qolsys.com. And otherwise, please allow up to 4 weeks for the shipping of that, and we'll send you an email. We will definitely keep you posted on where your item is. So we are excited. Okay, so the drawings. Jasmine, why don't you pick a number between 1 and 500 for me, and we will see who wins. Jasmine, are you still on?
Between 1 and 500, let's do 333.
333, good number. Okay, let's see who it is. Let's see. Joseph Brennan, you get an Alarm.com gift pack. Fantastic. Okay, pick another number, Jess.
212.
212. We've got a lot of people asking whether or not the material is going to be available to view as far as the presentation goes. We will have it posted on our Qolsys YouTube page later today, and you will also receive a link tomorrow, I think. So if you're unable to find it or anything like that, you want to forward it to someone, you can definitely get it there.
Yep, and that information is also on our dealer portal too, the actual dealer program information and a flyer you can use. So if you've got access to the dealer portal, you can log on there and go into the sales and marketing tab, and there's some information you can use there as well.
And if you don't have access to that dealer program, you can email me for that too, or email portalaccess@qolsys.com and we'll get that for you. Okay, 212 is Mario Tavares. I hope I said that right. Congratulations. Okay, Jasmine, pick another number, please.
37.
37. We're going to need 10 of these, so get ready. Okay, Valerie Nichols, congratulations. We definitely encourage you to install these in your own systems at your home so you can experience them and get a feel for them so you can really speak to them for your customers. Okay, another number?
417.
417. Okay, William Mitchell. Perfect. Okay, another one?
293.
Stephen Heyer. I think I'm saying that right. Okay, another number?
101.
101. Scott Caputo? I'm guessing. Okay, another number?
Try not to slaughter the customers' names too much.
No.
163.
163. If you won a prize pack, I'll definitely be emailing you guys as well with the tracking information so you know when to expect it. And I'll also, we'll be shipping these items to the address you used when you registered for the webinar. So your home address or your work address, that's where we'll be sending these. Okay, 163. That is Rebecca Markowski. I shouldn't be doing this, Markowski.
You really shouldn't. Boy, this is awful. But congratulations, Rebecca. Sorry about messing up your name.
Next one.
321.
321. Mike Davis. I can say that name. Mike Davis. Congratulations. Okay, another one? Two more.
169.
169. I like how excited you are. Alina, oh gosh. Sabatava? I'm going to go with that. Alina Sabatava. Congrats. Okay, last one.
499.
499. Good pick. Bill I shouldn't be doing this. Bill Zalud. Anyway,
Well, this
I'll
is
be emailing
probably the
you.
last time we're going to let Whitney read names from now on.
Listen, I'll email you guys and we'll be good. Okay, congratulations to all of our winners. I will be emailing everyone on the webinar regarding their light bulb. And we will, if you have any more questions on the webinar, I'll be following up on the chat. And so if you want to hang on the line, I'll get those answered for you. We have a couple people who want a follow-up for a phone call, so I'll definitely get that information to Jasmine and Caitlin for you guys. Again, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate your time.
And sorry we went over a little bit longer than we expected, but you had such good questions and things like that. We really appreciate it. And those of you that won, congratulations, and we're sorry that Whitney destroyed your names.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks again, everyone. We'll watch for our next webinar, and we'll be looking forward to talking to you again.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay, guys, I think I've gotten to everyone's questions. So if you need anything else, feel free to email me. My email is whitney.white@qolsys.com. Otherwise, we look forward to seeing you on our next webinar. Thank you.